Hi, welcome to this edition of How to Q. I'm in the middle of our renovation. We are turning some old beams into new beams. I'm going to get some close-ups of what they used to look like and what they look like now. I used a wire cut brush, I used a belt sander, and I used zip strip. All of these would work, but there's definitely a better answer. I'm going to take you through each one and show you which one worked the best. Please stay tuned and I'll show you that now. Let's start with the zip strip. So this is how the project started, about 70 feet of beam. I cut those down into 7-foot sections, and now I had to go about getting all that paint off. Okay, here's the zip strip I got from the local Ace Hardware. It removes paint and finish and should be able to do that in about 10 minutes. Notice I've got my mask on. You can definitely smell it. I'm outside, so it's evacuating those fumes. And I just used a really cheap brush to brush that on. And then after about 10 to 15 minutes, you can see that that paint kind of bubbled up. Again, you can also see that there's layers of paint, so it's not going to be a quick job. I can tell that already. So I take my 4-inch putty knife and I just start scraping it off and scraping it off and scraping it off. We'll speed this part up. All right, so as I pick up the pace here, I will spare you the suspense. This worked okay. I did 3 coats of this stuff, waiting 10 to 15 minutes in between each coat. It just wasn't worth the effort. It wasn't worth what I paid for the zip strip. Here's a close-up of what was left over after 3 attempts. So this just didn't work that great. Now onto the belt sander. Okay, on to the only reason I did this project, which was to justify going to buy a belt sander. Very easy. There's 80 grit sandpaper, $49 or $59 belt sander. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go check it out. Right away, I liked what was happening here. It was a lot better than the zip strip. Remember to have a respirator on. Remember to have hearing protection. This is kind of a loud machine, and you'll notice that right away, obviously. But you can tell it's really eating away that paint. I did not use zip strip on this, but I'll tell you right now, right away, I could tell it was doing better. The reason I would recommend maybe using zip strip is to get some of the excess paint off. This creates quite a bit of debris and dust. And it would have been nice to have at least, some of the paint taken off before I started this process. I'm speeding it up, and you can tell how quickly this works. So far, this has been my best option. Let's move on to option number 3. Now onto the wire cup brush. Let's see if that'll work. Okay, on to the most cost-effective option, the wire cup brush. I'm just showing off my $2.99 Harbor Freight purchase. Throw it into my drill and just start going to town perpendicular to the beam. All I was doing with this technique was really discoloring it. I wasn't getting rid of the paint whatsoever. I started angling it, and once I angled it, that was a little more effective. And you can see me getting some of that paint off, eating through the paint. I've done nothing to this beam yet. I didn't strip it. I didn't use, obviously, the sandpaper at all. And that's not real time. I've actually sped it up. But this was about 15 to 20 minutes of work, and it just wasn't that effective. But I tried. I had to try because really this was the cheapest option, as I said earlier. And I just wanted to show you not the final product, but the final product after using these options. There's still a little bit of paint, but you can't get it all off. It's almost impossible. But it looks a lot better. It's ready for the planer. It's ready for more sanding. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. If you learned something, please give me a thumbs up. I hope you left a comment. Maybe you've got a better answer to this, but these 2 worked the best, and actually, unfortunately, it was probably the most expensive answer. I didn't have one of these. So zip strip, one of these is the way to go. Thanks for watching this edition of How to Q. We'll see you next time.